Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well. Today, we've got a few news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming. First up, we're going to be talking about Intel's newly revealed, although there was some leaked information about a week ago, it is now confirmed that there is a new 10 series processor in the 10850HK. So we're going to talk about some of the differences with that versus the 10900K and why anyone would even consider getting the 10850HK. I've got some, theories on why Intel's doing this and all that stuff. Also, we've got confirmation on the new Call of Duty and what that's going to be called, and also the setting of the game, and also Disintegration, which has only been out for a little over a month, is actually going to be getting a free weekend already, which is spelling that it's probably not doing all that well. Did you just finish building a sweet gaming rig only to have this happen to you? Not to worry, because your CD Key has you covered with Windows 10 Pro licenses for under $18. And if you head over there right now, you could save 20% off with my code JPD20 at checkout. You'll receive your key within seconds, and then just click the start button and type activate to find the Windows activation screen, and all you gotta do then is paste your code in. For more info as well as that coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. So, first up, let's talk about the new Intel i9 10850HK, which more or less is a 10900K, except it's going to be a little bit slower out of the box in terms of its frequencies. It's going to be actually 100 megahertz slower in every single way in terms of the all-core turbo, your boost, base frequencies, all of that is 100 megahertz slower than a 10900K. That is pretty much the only difference here. And of course, the price is going to come in around $450, where the 10900K is closer up around $500, although technically it's supposed to be $488. I haven't really seen them listed at that. Usually they're selling for around $500 if you can find them, because stock has been quite scarce so far on the 10900K. But if we look at the table here over on videocards.com, you can see that the 10900K all-core turbo is 4.8 gigahertz. The 10850 is going to be 4.7. Max Turbo Boost 3.0 drops from 5.2 to 5.1. And the Turbo Boost 2.0 goes from 5.1 down to 5. And then the base clock is dropping from 3.7 gigahertz down to 3.6 gigahertz. So a 100 megahertz drop across the board, which in and of itself isn't really that big of a deal if you're going to overclock these. And for saving $50 or 70 pounds actually in the UK, it's doesn't really look that bad on paper, as it's a 10% price reduction for the US and around 15% roughly in the UK. For some reason, the 10900 there are selling a fair bit more than what they are here in the States. But of course, these are likely to be lesser binned, 10900K 10-core CPUs, either on the served core and thread count. One would have to assume that for that price premium of the 10900K, that they are going to be a better bin CPU, so they would likely have better overclocking headroom if that's something that you want to get into. And then, of course, if you did want something that was just going to run well out of the box, the 10900K is going to run a little bit faster out of the box for people that don't want to overclock. So there doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of reason to go for the 10850HK, or the 10850K, sorry, there's no H in that. So if you were going to get it to overclock it, you're not going to be able to overclock as well, it would seem, as a 10900K, as that's traditionally what's been done in the past. But also what is likely is that they're doing this because AMD recently came out with their XT lineup of Ryzen refreshed CPUs, which could make it look like Intel is sort of having a knee-jerk reaction to those CPUs coming out, but then the also slightly more affordable just X series of Ryzen 3000 from AMD also being out there in the market, and that would kind of compete more with these, and then that would sort of make like the 10900K seem like a more premium product, although if they could also just be the same exact thing, and Intel, in reaction to compete with AMD, might just be shipping these 10900Ks with a different name at a lower price, so that it doesn't appear to the public that they're already making a price cut on a CPU that's only been out for a little more than a month at this point. So I just don't really think this is a good look on Intel. It either looks like they're having this knee-jerk reaction to the XT series from AMD, or they are basically doing a pseudo price cut without actually saying that they're doing a price cut on the 10900K. Either way, I don't think either of those scenarios really looks good for Intel, and I don't think the CPU really makes sense for anyone. As I said, if you're going to overclock, you want something that's going to be binned better, and if you don't want to overclock, you want the thing that's going to be faster out of the box, and I don't think $50 is really going to make that much of a difference for someone looking to pick one of these up here in the States. Maybe in the UK, where it's a 70-pound price difference, which is closer in conversion a little bit over $80. So maybe in the UK it might make a little bit more sense since they're bending people over on the 10900Ks. But here in the States, I don't think it makes sense for anyone to buy this CPU. I could maybe see OEMs possibly using it to save some money there if they're getting them cheaper from Intel. But in the retail space, I don't really see much reason for anyone to buy this processor. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below what you think about it. Next up, we've got some new information on the next Call of Duty game and the setting of it, and some of this has already been kind of rumored and leaked in the recent weeks, but now we pretty much have official confirmation as Doritos bags were discovered, and Doritos last year for Modern Warfare did similar promotions for that game where you could basically buy the product and you would get codes that you can then put in on a website, and then that would give you double XP in the game, or in some cases, you could get certain item unlocks, like little charms and stuff for your weapon, just basically cosmetic stuff, and it looks like they are doing the same thing again this year, and we could see that the new game is called Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, so they are returning to the Black Ops franchise, but rather than just calling it Black Ops in the way Modern Warfare did to sort of do a reboot on that series, this one is going to be called Cold War, so it's obviously going to be set, somewhere around probably Vietnam era, and also up into the late 1980s until the Cold War pretty much ended. So we're looking at a few decades period of time, which we've seen them, visit in the past with these sort of like Black Ops CIA type of missions ever since Call of Duty Black Ops 1, really. That's pretty much always been the setting of the Black Ops series, is in that sort of like Cold War-ish era, except for when they went futuristic. I think they went futuristic with one or two of the games, but, like Black Ops 1 and 2 was around that Cold War era, and those were some of my favorite Call of Duty games, so I'm looking forward to them going back to that. But the more interesting thing about this really is the release date of the game, which we don't have any official confirmation yet, but this promotion that they're running with Doritos, where you could possibly win double XP for a year, that promotion is meant to be starting on October 5th, which is little more than a month away, realistically, or no, sorry, 2 months away. And this close to October 5th, and we still haven't even seen an official confirmation from Activision about this game. And we have the Doritos bag that shows it, which is pretty much all the proof you really need to know that that's going to be the name of the game and the setting that they're doing. But we still haven't gotten anything official yet from Activision on this new Call of Duty game, and we're talking about 2 months away before the game came out. I went ahead and looked at last year for Modern Warfare. The official reveal trailer for that was posted on May 30th, 2019, and that's the typical sort of release cadence that they will do with these Call of Duty titles. In around May, just before E3, we would get sort of like a reveal trailer. At E3, we'd see a little bit more. Maybe a month later, we would see a multiplayer reveal and hear more about the game. And they would have, enough time through different press releases and stuff to sort of build anticipation and hype for the game. But with it just 2 months away, and we still have not gotten a single reveal trailer for this game yet, and we don't really know anything about it other than the setting and the name from a Dorito bag. So I don't know how they're planning on really hitting that release date and why they would hold back all this stuff. I mean, I guess you can blame it, sort of on COVID and things like that, but coming out on October 5th would actually be beating the release date of Modern Warfare from last year, which came out on, I believe, October 25th, so this would actually even be coming out sooner. So it really doesn't make any sense that they are holding back the press releases and the reveal trailers and stuff like that until this late in the game, really. I mean, August is right around the corner, 2 months before when this promotion is set to start. Even if the promotion is starting before the game releases, which wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, I would assume it would have to be out by early to mid-November at the very latest. That's usually the latest we see new Call of Duty titles come out. So they really need to get the ball rolling on getting this stuff out there so we can actually see what this game is about, so people can make a well-informed purchase decision. And yeah, I just want to see some more information on it because I loved Modern Warfare, and I'm looking forward to this game as well. Now, coming up this weekend, there's going to be a free-to-play weekend for a game called Disintegration, which you may or may not have heard of. It's going to be going on from July 30th this weekend until August 2nd, so you'll be able to try out this game. It has a single player as well as a multiplayer component. The game was actually worked on by some of the original developers of the older Halo games, so it had a pretty big pedigree behind this game when it came out back in June, and they're already having to do a free weekend for Disintegration, which makes it look like they're probably not selling as many copies of this game as they really had hoped to, and I kind of did some digging on this and why that is. I mean, if you look over on Steam, it's currently listed as having mixed reviews. There's a lot of people, there's a fair amount of people that like the game and like, oh, I like the game, the single player is good and all that stuff, but when it comes to the multiplayer, people really can't say a whole lot about it because like literally nobody is playing it and you can't get into a lobby. So hopefully having a free weekend will at least get more people on it so people can experience the multiplayer, and maybe people will find that it's actually something they like, because some people think that the combat's actually pretty decent in the single player, but they think the story is bad. I mean, this guy right here is keeping it short. The pros: cool character designs inspired by Transformers and Real Steel and even Destiny. And the negatives, literally everything else. The story is boring, the voices don't sync with the facial animations, choppy sound, repetitive gameplay, unbalanced difficulty, dumb AI except for being bullet sponges. And going through a lot of the negative reviews on this, I pretty much read the same thing repeatedly. Bad AI, just stupid AI, and if you like ramp up the difficulty, it just becomes like insanely difficult, but not because they're really adding any challenge onto it, but the enemies would just become more bullet spongy and not really any smarter in any way in the way they use their tactics to like flank around you or anything like that. So it just sounds like it's a kind of like a bad to mediocre game at best, and that's reflected in why they're needing to do this already. I mean, I even saw some people on there complaining that they wish they had refunded it earlier on and didn't get a chance and actually played it like too long to be able to get refunds. So that's never a good sign that, some of the top reviews are people wishing that they could still get a refund because the game is that bad, and the replayability, if no one's on the multiplayer, it really isn't there. Apart from the single-player aspect, which I'm sure has a very limited lifespan for a game like this that seems to be mediocre at best. But hopefully, maybe I saw the trailers for this a few months ago, and I thought it looked interesting. Like, the release trailer for it looked pretty good. But obviously, the proof is in the pudding, and when the game actually came out, turns out the game just kind of sucks a bit. So I am looking forward to actually trying it, though, this weekend. I'm going to give it a try, give it the honest try. Hopefully, there's enough people that are attracted to the free weekend to get on there so we could try out the multiplayer. Who knows? There might be something actually good there that we just nobody's really gotten a chance to experience yet, because maybe a lot of people got on the single player and maybe didn't like it, refunded it. Maybe enough people didn't stick around after finishing the single player or had trouble finding lobbies. So, you never know, though. There could be good bones here, and maybe, this free weekend could be the boost that Disintegration needs. Otherwise, the player count for it just might disintegrate even further. So that's all I've got for you guys in today's news. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. As always, I look forward to your feedback down in the comments below on all the stories we covered in this video. If you want links to sources, those will be down there in a one-tab link. But I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up on it, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one.